So our next tutorial will be about actually customizing our homepage. And I have our basic homepage pulled up here, and Foodie does a decent job of showing it and showing off our most recent posts on the homepage. However, it has even greater functionality and can really make your site engaging. And if someone comes to your homepage first, make it a great way for people to kind of dive in and get interested in the posts that you're showing off on your site. To do this, I actually need to cover a couple of details within the post settings itself. So I've opened a few tabs just so I can talk about everything. We have our homepage here that I have. I've got our widgets opened up, which is what we'll use here in a bit. If you need to get back to that, you'll go to Appearance and then Widgets. And then I have a post actually opened up. And in this, I'm going to click Edit Post. And two things I want to talk about specifically. One would be setting a featured image. You'll want to set this for every, if you're using any sort of image within your homepage, you're going to want to click Set Featured Image and set one up. I have one already sitting on my desktop to use specifically for this, so I can drag and drop and set it. If you have old posts, you might have to go through and redo this. If you're creating new posts, you might want to just make sure that you set a featured image for every post. If you click Update, I will have a featured image showing up, and if I refresh our homepage, we can actually see that that's already showing up. So I've got that image there, and I've got one for the previous recipe, and I've got another post. What I'm going to try and do, and I still have this post box open because I'll show you here in a minute. I prefer to do something like what we have on Minimalist Baker, which I don't really want the slider, but I want I don't know if you remember the slider that was on the demo, which showed multiple images. You can do that if you want, or if it's what you feel like fits your style, but I want the most recent post at top to be highlighted, and then I want little previews of the other posts to show up underneath. And Foodie makes it very easy to do this. You just need to make sure you have the correct settings in place. For the top post, if I just want a top post to be like a preview of a couple images or something like that, within the post itself, you're going to need to, when you write the post or get ready to publish the post, you're going to need to use this read more content button within WordPress, or insert more. So if you're writing your content, blah, 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 and then you click this button, it actually creates this little more button. And I'll show you when we actually have this installed. If I click Update now, it'll show this on the post. It doesn't show up when I'm actually viewing the whole post. I'll go show you here under there. That's actually where it is, but it's not showing up on the post. But it will show up on the homepage because I'm only going to use part of the post. So again, we're going to try and do that. This most recent, this vegan chai ice cream, showing really big images and a preview of the post, and then little previews of the older posts underneath it. To do that, on our widgets page, I am going to use these home widgets. Again, the home top widget is for that responsive slider. Shay has a tutorial on how to install that if it's something you'd like to use, but I'm only going to use the home middle and home bottom. And I'm going to use this Genesis featured widget amplified plugin we installed earlier. And I'm just going to drag and drop this over here. To install my post preview for my most recent post, I'm going to use this one in the middle, and then I'm going to use it again in the bottom one to show excerpts of older posts. So the details on this one, you can set out specifics or however else you want if it fits your content, but I don't really need to choose anything here until here, number of posts to show. I only want to show one since I want to show the most recent one. I want it to be the most recent, so I'm going to use date. I don't need to select any of this information. I don't need to use the featured widget, the reason, or the featured image. The reason we do want that set is that way when we do a new post, the featured image will be used, and I'll show you that here in a bit. I do want to show the post title. You can limit if you want or anything else. I do like using the link, but that's up to you. I go ahead and use post info, which will show up here in a bit. For the content, I'm going to go ahead and just click show content. And the reason is, since I inserted that read more link in our post, again, right under here, we did that insert more tag. It will now only show up to that point, which is perfect for what I'm trying to do. If you want to show the meta tag, it'll show these categories and post tags, which I'll show you here in a bit. and everything else is good. So if I click save here and then go back to our home page, it's going to be totally different. We've got vegan chai ice cream. We've got that post info that we were talking about. So all that's on there. And then if you scroll down, now we've got this little read more tag. So we've got the preview the post. You could show the whole post if you want, just don't do that read more tag in the post. And then we've got filed more, and if you have tags, that would show up as well. Now what I want to do is show previews of the older posts right down here. To do that, going back to our widgets, I can close that up, close up the middle, and then under home bottom, let's drag Genesis featured widget amplified once again. And this time what we want to do is set how many posts we want to show. I'm just going to do 2 since I only have 2 posts to show, but you could do more if you want. Date again is good. I do want to work with pagination and I want to show the navigation. So I'm going to click those 2 buttons and I'll show you how those show up. I do want to use the featured image if those are available. I want to link to the post. So if someone clicks the image, it goes to the post. You can choose the size of the image that you would like to use. The square thumbnail is a nice size for this. You can choose exactly how that shows up before title is fine for our use, but a number of options. You can kind of click around and see what works best. Show page title, link to the post. Now for content type, I actually don't want to show any content. I just want my image and a link to the post. This works as long as you have a featured image for all of your posts. It'll work for the other ones, but I'll show you here in a bit how it doesn't actually look so great if I don't have a featured image. I'm going to click show post info and meta again, and just click save. And let's go back to our home page. So we've still got this featured one, but under here we've got these 2 awesome. Oh, okay. So I've thankfully kind of messed this up on purpose or on accident, but it'll be good for us. We've got these big old featured images. We've got links to the post. We've got these details, which I can keep or get rid of. I might get rid of some of this stuff just to simplify it, but you can see. So what's cool about this is that this will be automatically populated as you add new posts. So the old one will move down and the new one will show at the top and so on and so forth. Of course, what we don't want is this post showing up twice. So back in our widgets here, what I need to do is offset this by 1 post. And if I click save again, oh, let's go ahead just for simplicity's sake. Let's remove this post info and post meta. And if I refresh this now, so we've got our newest post right up here. We've got our second post right here. And then we've got our oldest post right here. And since I didn't have a featured image for that one, one isn't showing up. So that's kind of why I was suggesting doing that. I'll go ahead and just show you really quickly. If you want, you could also use these thumbnails, 150 by 150. Kind of gives you a different feel for, oh, actually it doesn't work on this one. I'm confusing it with another one. But in any case, if you go through here and click I don't have a second page, but right now, the more posts you add, these will be automatically populated as well. This is, again, a huge feature of Foodie, and that is that essentially, oh, and now that I say this, that 150 pixel image is showing up. It's just stretching it, so it's not looking very good. So I do actually want to make sure that I've got this 450 by 450 showing up. Let's go ahead and refresh that and see what I mean. See, that's looking way better. On these navigations, though, these will be automatically populated and you'll have more posts and they will show up exactly like this is displaying. So looks really nice. Can be something that can add a lot of value to your site and people looking around for information from your site or your older posts. Makes it all the easier, all the more clean, and looks really great. So I will leave it there and we'll go touch on creating a custom recipe page now.